I'm Eli. I will be doing the transforming your program into a vocational pathway. I do have experience in this, and we'll cover that at the end of the slideshow. A little bit about me. I was with Dakota Valley for 2 years with the pilot program and the first official program. I did all of our streaming, and then I was able to do the state tournament at side matches as well. I'm a sophomore at Augustana University, doing video production for sports broadcasting. And my work experience, I've got a year and a half with SDPB doing video work for them, 4 years for RVP, high school esports streamer, I did a lot of that. And now I'm doing it for my college and also for athletics. Oh my gosh.
Should I see this works?
Okay.
Or it does. Here you go. He's got a clicker, guys.
Oh my God. Wait, did you see this from over?
No, he's from
What do I?
Sawyer.
Okay. Opportunities from esports. Players, there's a lot of pathways you can go with esports, whether it be you playing the game or coaching, but there's more than that. You got casting, analyst, production, host, social media, team manager, content creation, or an event/league manager. And we'll cover all of these in the presentation. A player. For players, opportunities. Players can establish their name and network through the business by participating in conventions, exhibits, and LAN events. So beyond high school, you've got collegiate experiences for players, and then beyond that, you've got more levels, whether you're playing for a team or and beyond that for pro. To help the team succeed off the stage, former or present players may take on responsibilities as analysts, strategists, or team managers. So from being a player, there are a lot of opportunities to expand and do other work for your team and in the industry. Skills developed through esports such as communication, teamwork, decision-making, discipline, and problem-solving can be valuable in many careers outside of gaming. So a big topic is going to be skills when it comes to esports as an industry and pathways you can take, is there's a lot of skills you can develop, whether you're in any part of the industry. And this is jumping onto a little later slide, but as a player, you also have options to do streaming and content creation, building audiences on platforms like Twitch and YouTube by streaming your gameplay, making tutorials, or just entertaining viewers. And this can generate also more income as well with promotions, sponsors, ads, donations, whatever it may be. And also working with brands. So there's a lot of, when you watch a professional esports LAN match or whatever, you'll see sponsors on their jerseys, and that's because they're using their equipment. So brand partnerships are a big one there. For coaching, you'll have to find coaches were players at some point. I hope so. Leadership responsibilities, you can take on duties like a manager in an esports program, performance director, or head coach. And this all depends on the size of your program, whether it's going to be small or big. You can double up on some of these roles. You advise with esports organizations, tournament organizers, or game developers on competitive strategy and player development. You scout and mentor promising players, helping them progress into competitive esports. And you're going to have those players that are interested in playing the game, but also sometimes more interested in helping other people play the game. And so this is a nice role for them to have as well. For academics and youth esports, you can assist in setting up competitive events and coach school, college, or community esports, like Chris here, who is the coach at Augustana University. This more ties into my area. If you're not a player but you want to cast, Ian, who's left the room, was a great caster for us at Dakota Valley. You provide live play-by-play commentary and expert analysis during local, regional, and international esports events. And you can work your way up into many positions in the esports business as a senior caster, lead analyst, or broadcast producer, or talent manager. There's tons of positions within this alone, working in many different game titles. And you can work independently for tournaments, online leagues, or community events to build experience in a professional portfolio. And what's great about this is none of these have to be in person. They can be online, but they can also be in person. There's both of those options. And it's not just casting. You can take on the role of doing interviews, desk analysts, or even hosting during or following games. And outside of events and stuff, there's opportunities for voiceover work using your broadcasting abilities for promotional films, esports documentaries, game trailers, and or other game-related material. Analyst. This is a big one that ties into a little bit of coaching, but for those that love numbers and playing video games, this is a great route you can take. Analyzing your gameplay, identifying strengths and weaknesses, studying opponents, and providing strategic recommendations to coaches and players. And what's great about analysts is you can be a freelance analyst, so you can work for many teams. They'll reach out to you and you analyze their stuff and you give them a report back, or you can work and stay with a specific team. So there's many opportunities with that. They use statistics, match data, and video analysis to evaluate player and team performance and recommend improvements. Developing performance metrics, dashboards, and reports that support decision making for teams and organizations. And this is all to help viewers better they can also be used. Analysts can be used in a live setting during video production to help viewers better comprehend the competition, explaining player choices, game strategy, and match developments during live esports entertainment tournaments. Production, which is where I ended up. There's tons of roles. This is a whole thing in and of itself. We'll cover a few. Broadcast producer, you plan and oversee live esports broadcasts, coordinating production teams, and ensuring smooth event execution. So you're producing the entire thing, whether it's video, lighting, sound, all of it falls down onto you. Director, you manage camera shots, transitions, and live production elements to create a dynamic viewing experience. So everything you see, whether you're going to be at a LAN tournament and there's a jumbotron hanging in the middle, all of that's handled. Everything that's up there is called by the director. Or if you're watching live at home, that's also done by the director. Audio and video technician, you manage lighting, sound, and streaming devices, as well as quality for both live and recorded productions as an audio or video technician. And I threw lighting in there because when you see like a LAN match, like the Rocket League, for instance, they've got tons of lights. It's usually blacked out, and there's fancy lights going all over the place. So there's opportunities for lighting, and then also sound for miking up certain parts of the crowd, the players, getting communications with the coach and the players as well. And then also video technician for handling more of the recording and replay stuff as well. Technical director is a little bit, it's tied in with the director position. They just do all the button pressing when it comes to the board itself. A host, and this one can be very similar to caster, but is also a little bit more fun in some aspects. You present the live events, introduce matches, players, and teams, and maintain audience engagement through the competition. And this is more of an on-camera role, moving around on the stage, not necessarily sitting behind a desk describing the gameplay. You can also conduct interviews with players, coaches, and tournament officials before and after matches, provide insights and stories for the broadcast. And there's different levels in this. You can be a senior host, broadcast presenter, event producer, talent manager, media personality roles within the esports industry. You can host esports conventions, award ceremonies, product launches, and community gaming events. So this one is, you're more than just a LAN tournament. You can do, like I said, the award ceremonies, product launches, and other stuff as well. Social media, I threw this in there because, a lot of teams nowadays have social media accounts and they're posting information like that. And this is another opportunity you can deal with stuff. You can create and oversee social media plans, post content, and manage esports teams and organizations' online presence. So you're making videos, graphics, photos, live streams, your highlight reels, packages, everything, behind the scenes content. And recently, in the past few years, there's been it's the meta to do behind the scenes stuff, getting players input on goofy little questions just off while they're not playing. Digital marketing specialist, you can plan and execute online marketing campaigns, promotions, and sponsorship activations to increase brand awareness and audience outreach. And depending on how big your team is, the social media managers also are a big part in getting those sponsorships and brand partnerships, because they're always posting online, and then they'll connect through social media, and then it funnels through the rest of the team to get those partnerships. That's the last one. Yes. Team manager. What opportunities arise for team managers? You oversee team operations, coordinate training schedules, manage travel arrangements, and act as the main point of contact between players, coaches, and the organization. You organize team initiatives, special events, sponsorship activities, and operational projects. So you're essentially organizing everything that goes around with the team, and this is one of those positions where you can get great skills of organization, but also communication and leadership, because you're making sure everything flows smoothly and things are getting done the way they're supposed to get done. And you can work with also a little bit of our social media that we covered, about building and maintaining relationships with sponsors, partners, and stakeholders to support the team's commercial objectives. There's different progressions as listed, senior team manager, operations director, general manager, esports director, or organizational leadership roles within the esports industry. Like some teams will have their team name, but then they play across multiple different games. So then there's subcategories of team managers that fall under each of those that are specific for those games. Content creation, this one ties back to a little bit of the player, but also social media. You can produce documentaries, interviews, gameplay highlights, match recaps, and promotional videos for gaming companies and esports organizations. And this is one of those that can be more of a freelancer position where you're working for certain, teams and making those packages for them. And this is another one, like when I went into esports, I wasn't necessarily interested in playing the games, but more of the behind the scenes stuff. So this is some of the stuff that I do. You can use websites like Twitch and YouTube to broadcast live gameplay, engage with viewers, and create a community. And this is when you're not necessarily at a LAN match or a big tournament, you can still stream all your games and stuff from there. Whether you're a player or the team, or there's opportunities for both. You can take professional pictures and movies of competitions, athletes, and behind the scenes activity for marketing and digital purposes. Biggest ones could be highlight reels and like live stuff that's happening live during matches. You can cover with social media and with content creation. Creating social media graphics, teams, branding, promotional materials, thumbnails, and tournament visuals. This ties in with the social media team. And you can advance into senior content creator, creative director, content manager, digital media manager, or marketing director roles within the esports industry. And this can also tie into the production field, working with the production teams and the league to make all the graphics that you see, whether it be roster lineups, the scoreboard, the score bug at the very top, camera overlays, all sorts of different things. Event and league manager. Plan and executes esports tournaments, including scheduling, logistics, staffing, and coordination with teams and production crews. So you're overheading all of that stuff. So for certain individuals that like the esports industry and want to play games, but also want to put on a show, this is great for them. Putting together LAN tournaments, whatever it may be, an online tournament, or even, for example, Funworks. They came together and put this. It started out in North Dakota, and now it's expanded to Minnesota, South Dakota, Wyoming. I believe they're expanding to Montana as well. They oversee the operations of ongoing esports leagues, manage competition structures, enforce rules, and support participating teams and players. Communicate with players, teams, and fans to improve the overall event experience and maintain a positive competitive environment. And there's different positions within as well. You can move into executive leaderships in the esports sector, such as senior event manager, league director, esports operations director, or tournament organizer. So all of these have one thing in common. They develop your skills. And one of those biggest skills is going to be team building and communication. So in almost all of these, actually, you're developing your team bonding skills, working with other people in different industries as well and different routes of esports to tie everything together. And that also gives you a great communication skills. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the costs and payouts of esports in the industry, and what those look like for if you're heading into that pathway. I mean, depending on the configuration, basic gear and internet can cost anywhere from a few $100s to $1,000. So setting up a team can be a little expensive sometimes. If you're traveling, that can be expensive for like a LAN match. Coaching, updated equipment, and tournament fees. When professional team, you've got salaries, facilities, personnel, events, and operators are taken into consideration. Annual costs might amount to hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. And this is another route for students to take. If they're interested in esports and that industry, and they're more like a numbers person, like an analyst, they can also jump into the finance side of things and work with the finance team to sort all of that kind of stuff out. So there's tons of opportunities within the esports industry for jobs. And then there's payouts. So you can gain experience while earning minor prizes, sponsorships, and prizes from community tournaments. You could also augment income through content development, team contracts, and tournament winnings. Or make money through sponsorships, prize money, salary, and personal brands. Elite players can also make significant sums of money through a combination of financial opportunities and competitive success. The most well-known esports professionals can make millions of dollars over the course of their careers, whether it be contracts for the teams, awards, or winning money from tournaments. There's tons of opportunities, and this is, it's a growing industry. There's always more coming, and this is a great, I don't want to say reward for going into this industry, but it's growing, and this is something people are looking at, and so they're looking at going into the industry because of this side of it. You can get money from tournament prize, player salary, sponsorship, streaming, and merchandise. Now we're going to talk a little bit about my personal experience. I joined the esports program at Dakota Valley my junior year in the pilot program, and I spent the first 40 minutes probably of the first practice walking around the room, just hanging out with my friends. I didn't sit down at a single PC or play a single game. And eventually I walked up to the coach and I said, "Is there any plans for the games to be streamed?" And he said he thought about it, but he wasn't sure how to do it. And I said to him, "Is that something I can do?" And he said, "Sure." So he gave me a computer and I went and ran with it. So the very first year, we streamed all of our matches, or most of them. And then we worked with Fenworks, and this was when it was at Club 71 at Brookings, the pilot year. We had the main stage and two smaller pods behind it. I streamed all of the games on the one pod. We had casters, we had all the streams, and so parents at home could watch their kids even if they weren't on the main stage, which was a lot of fun. And then going into my senior year, the first official year when it was hosted at Aberdeen, we came back and we were originally told no, we could not stream because SDPB had all of the streaming rights for it. So I was introduced to an individual at SDPB, and we were talking about stuff, and he gave me the go ahead to stream. So the second day of games, I did stream the rest of the matches for some of the smaller games, or the pods again. In doing so, with talking with SDPB, it led me to do freelance work for SDPB. So that was back in March of 24. So it's been almost a year and a half. I did state track, I've done state basketball, I've done show choir, I've done jazz band, I did Dakota relays in Sioux Falls, I did state softball, jazz band. I've done a lot of events with them, working with them. So that was a huge opportunity that I got from being in the esports industry, is making connection. That's another big thing within this industry, is making connections. And with all of these positions or opportunities, there are ways inside to make connections. And you can either grow inside of this industry or use those connections and your skills to go into another industry. Let's say you start in esports doing production and you're like, well, this isn't what I thought it would be, but I'm still interested. Because you're already in that industry of production, it's way easier to jump ship and go to, let's say, streaming football or soccer or another sport. I joined Augustana Esports. I'll be a sophomore this year. So last year I was a freshman. I worked with Chris and we streamed a few matches on and off, with some issues going on with that. And then even playing video games. Your students can play those video games and they'll meet new people and opportunities will arise that way. Like, I edit videos for a few people now just on the side for some extra cash because they asked and I said sure. And personal skills. So this is state football of last year at the USD Dome, which was a ton of fun for SDPB. Skills that I've gained, especially from esports, is I can specialize in editing gaming content for a video game creator, enhancing footage through pacing, storytelling, visual effects, and creative editing techniques to deliver high-quality videos optimized for viewer engagement. So I've taken everything I've learned along with a course from Chris to use my skills and make videos for that kind of stuff. video production. I've done camera operating, replay operating, directing, graphics operating, producing, audio tech, and engineer. And some of these cases on smaller productions, you will have an overlap of some of that stuff. And because of all of this, I now thrive in high pressure, fast paced esports and technology environments, maintaining focus, adaptability, and strong decision making while meeting critical deadlines and evolving challenges. So I do more than just esports for some of the companies. Like I do all of these other options, but I've also done hockey, soccer, baseball, football, indoor football, rodeos, concerts, weddings. We do tons of stuff. Dance recitals, graduation. So I do a lot of that stuff. And let's say hockey, for instance, by the time the goal's scored, I have like 7 seconds to find the goal, clip it as a replay operator, make it into a package, and have it ready for our director to put it up for the big screen in the stream, so everyone can see the goal. So that's a great thing I've gotten from that. That is the end. If you have any questions, we can go over that stuff now, and I'll do my best to answer them. Go ahead.
So, as much as we can, we try to encourage our students to pursue going to college or university. So, as part of esports recruitment as a coach, I can explain my prospects, players, these opportunities that may arise if they hone their skills in sports. So, my question would be: do South Dakota universities offer programs related to these opportunities, and what schools or universities have these programs in their study?
Yeah. So. Augustine University, for example, where I'm at, we have a program called Media Production for Sports Broadcasting, but we also have media production for, is it audio tech, audio engineering, something? So there's,
Music.
yeah, for music. So there's different routes to go into the audio side of it as well. And then you look at Vermillion USD, they share a campus with South Dakota Public Broadcasting. So they do courses with SDPB for journalism and hosting, and they do internship as well. And one of the biggest things in South Dakota is SDPB and other companies around like Midco, even Daktronics, they do some video content creation. They offer internships. So if a school in South Dakota doesn't have it, there's a good chance they can go experience more of it at an internship. I know SDSU, on the production side of it, they do all their in-house production. So everything from camera work, replating, directing, all of it is done by students. So they don't hire a company to do it, which is great. It's a great opportunity to go get hands-on experience there. Other things like players and coaches, there are coaching programs in the state of South Dakota at some schools. I don't know if there's specific ones for esports directly, or if it's just a general coaching that you can take and use. But then like USD, they offer an esports program for players. SDSU has a club one, DSU, and a few other schools in South Dakota offer those.
So like, when you were setting up like when you were streaming all that, like the high school games and stuff like that, what program was you using?
I used OBS for that. Yeah, so OBS is what's on this laptop right now that we're using to record all of this. I don't know if they've sent it out or not, but last year I did the streaming and broadcasting clinic session or the clinic session. So I did a whole PowerPoint on all sorts of tools you can use for that, whether it be OBS, vMix, there's tons of stuff you can go down that route.